born in a traditional hospital setting, and it wasn't horrible, but I felt after his birth that I just felt like I wanted something more and different. With him, I had planned on having an epidural, and I got to the hospital, I was 9 centimeters, and they said, hey, we can't do it. So he was born natural, but not really by my choice. So when I was pregnant with Gavin, I had told my friend about my not so great hospital birth, and she said, hey, have you heard about the birth center? I was like, no. So I researched it, and I figured, hey, I've already done it once, natural, not planned, so why not try it planned this time, natural? So we visited, did the tour of the birth center, and we fell in love with it. And Gavin was born at the birth center, and Elvie was born at the birth center, and now we're planning our 4th birth, but 3rd at the birth center.
I was kind of more on the traditional side. She had to do some convincing, and I mean, I'm glad I was convinced on that. But she had told me, hey, I want to try this out, and I was like, okay, let's go see, do the orientation, and just try it out and go with it, because I'm hesitant on change most of the time, but it worked out so well. Felt comfortable there. It was kind of like a family, is what we've always talked about, and that's important to me, to feel comfortable, and so that allowed us to kind of go into it and be I don't know, just as much normal as possible, and so that's what it was like for me.
Say both with prenatal visits, the example would be like with my OBGYN visits and care with Liam, they were very rushed, just kind of get him in, get him out, get him in, get him out. There wasn't a lot of time. They asked, do you have questions? And I'd say, yeah, and they just rushed through the answers. Didn't feel very comfortable. Didn't feel like they really cared too much. So that stood out at the birth center whenever they spent tons of time. They were over thorough, and it just felt really nice not to come in and leave really quick. And then with the labor and birth, it was totally different. My hospital birth, I was laying on my back. Brad had mentioned with Liam, they had me pushing for so long, my face was all, the blood vessels, were just popped all over my face. And with Gavin, it was almost like, not effortless because it was labor and birth, but they didn't have me like straining and pushing for no reason when my body wasn't ready. They just knew, like, okay, she's ready now, so if you're ready, go ahead and push, and if not, just take it slow. They weren't, come on, Danielle, push now. And
it was mainly that she dictated at the wellness center. She's dictated when it happens, with the help of and guidance of the midwife.
Right. Yeah.
But in the hospital, it was more like, we're telling you what to do. You're going to do it this way.
Right now.
This way.
Yeah. So it was very stressful with Liam, and with Gavin and Elvie, it was just very natural. It felt like, okay, now is the right time, and it wasn't rushed with the prenatal and with the labor and the birth. So that was awesome. In their time, I felt like I was on a timer to get in and get out, and the midwives took their time to answer the questions, very thorough, like I said, and I found myself feeling really upset at my 6-week postpartum visit. It was supposed to be my last visit, and I was crying, and the nurse was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Well, I'm so used to coming on a regular basis, and it just feels like home now. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do without coming here regularly." It was just so nice, and kind of almost felt like like a little vacation. I got to go and speak with the midwives and nurses, and I was just really sad that time was coming to an end. They're like, well, you can still come for your well women care, and I was like, that's not going to be the same, coming consistently, every 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and then every 1 week until the baby was born. So I was just really sad. It felt like home every time I came back, the smells and everything, seeing familiar faces, it just felt like home being there. And every time after Gavin, when I was pregnant with her, walked in for my first prenatal visit, and I was like, I'm home again. And I felt that way again when I came for my first prenatal visit with this baby. Just felt like I was home. So the birth center feels like now, like a second home.